Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. As promised, I was going to make a new video while I was out on a trip using my brand new laptop and the equipment associated with it. So this will be the inaugural video, I guess, using that laptop, and what better way to do so than with having the Cryptids and Monsters series. So I'm going to do a Cryptids of the Week here with the random page giving me yet another new suggestion, something that I've never talked about before, but it's interesting because it actually has a very close tie-in to one of the best known cryptids of all time, that being of course the Loch Ness monster, i.e. Nessie. So this one is almost like a cousin or maybe even a sister of it, who knows. But yes, let's go ahead and we'll talk about this random pick of the week here. Again, all of it coming from the random link associated with the cryptids.wikia.com video. So this one is a creature that's known as the Morag, which you're looking at a picture of here. And then just like everything associated with Nessie, with the Loch Ness monster, it is exactly almost the same, except this one lives in a place called Loch Morar. They're located in Scotland. So plenty of sightings associated with this cryptid. In fact, when I was reading the information, I was surprised by how many sightings this thing has. If anything, it seems to have more credible sightings than the Loch Ness monster, than Nessie himself. And this is because of the number of incidences, but also because of those involving multiple witnesses. So I don't quite recall that being happening with some of the other, I guess, encounters with Nessie. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about all that info here. So what is this Morag? Well, again, it's a Loch Ness type monster located in Loch Morar there in Scotland. The reason why it's called the Morag, as far as its name, is because it's a pun apparently on the name of the loch. So Loch Morar, that's again the official name of that body of water. So in this case, it's Loch Morag rather than Loch Morar. So normally other places, like if I described in some of my past videos, they absolutely like use the same name for the cryptid itself, but in this case it's just a very slight variation of it. But yes, and it seems to be given this name because it also denotes a female annotation. So with regards to this creature, as I mentioned earlier, it seems to be almost like the sister of Nessie, or maybe a female counterpart, another female counterpart of Nessie himself. But yes, as far as those instances of sightings, the very first one, you have to go back all the way to 1887. But the big difference again between this one and Nessie is how many incidences have happened afterwards. So if you tally up everything together, including the most recent one back in 1981, then you're looking at something involving about 34 incidents. Phenomenal. That's a huge amount of stuff, considering that this is a creature that as of yet seems to have no physical evidence captured of it. Lots of instances with people again finding this thing, seeing it, and in some cases with multiple witnesses, but still none of that hardcore concrete evidence. But you still have all of those eyewitness accounts. And let's go ahead and we'll talk about some of the more popular ones, some of the more well-known ones. In this case, there was an encounter back in 1948. That's when 9 people, if you can believe it, 9 people on a boat actually saw this creature all at once. They described it as a peculiar serpent-like creature about 20 foot long. And this also mimicked an encounter that happened in 1887. So both encounters, both of them a good number of decades apart, and yet both involving a large group of people in a boat witnessing this creature. The other best known encounter, this is seems to be like the best one of all, seems to be 1969. That's when 2 men, one by the name of Duncan MacDonald and the other one William Simpson, if you can believe it, they were on a speedboat on the actual lake. Normally when you hear these type of incidents, it tends to be like fishermen type boats, or maybe just relaxing type boats, almost like yachts. of some sort. But no, in this case it was on a speedboat. Those are those really, really fast boats. And then almost like just out of a movie, the speedboat accidentally hit something in the water, except it turned out it was this. It was Morag. It accidentally hit it, and further adding to it, like on almost like a movie type level, this creature was eventually pissed off at the fact that it was just hit by the speedboat, and so it actually hit back at the boat. I don't know exactly how that could have happened. Let's think about it. Like maybe it used its long tail, or maybe it used one of its fins. Who knows? But it definitely retaliated back. And then after that happened, these two men, one of them, in this case McDonald, started, I guess, hitting it with the oar that he had on the boat. So there it was, this giant Loch Ness monster being hit by a guy with an oar. Take that with a little bit of grain of salt, because I don't know exactly, as I mentioned in some of the past videos, it seems like some of these tales take a more fantastic approach. Like people will state that yes, like they absolutely chased the creature, they ran up to it, they tried to make sure it didn't escape. It seems like it's like a little bit more sense of bravado of anything. But with regards to the other person, Simpson, this one makes more sense. This person Simpson had a rifle with them, and it used that rifle to try to open fire on Morag, and whether it hit it or not, who knows, but this caused Morag to slowly sink back into the sea out of sight. This is how they described the creature, by the way. They described it as being brown, so brownish hue, 25-30 feet long, very, very rough skin, and then most importantly had 3 humps rising above the water. So these 3 humps, maybe they were part of its body, who knows, but it had a head that was considered about a foot wide, and then it itself, whenever they saw it, it was rising out of the water about maybe 18 inches or so. So it didn't really make its presence known 100%, but it still rose out of the water to acknowledge it. You've seen some of the photographs, in fact, within this video already, and one of the most famous ones was a photograph taken in 1977 by a lady named Miss M. Lindsay, and that one supposedly shows this Morag, and it shows that this is an intelligent creature. Well, not really, and it shows in a sense that it's something alive, because the series of pictures showcase something moving several yards from one place to another, and one of those seems to show the 2 humps associated with this creature. Finally, there's been some official investigations associated with trying to find this thing, whatever it is, within that particular lake. And one of those, there's a Loch Ness Investigation Bureau. They've done several trips. One of them was apparently back in February 1970 to try to do, like, I don't know how many days out there, but they tried and to allocate a good amount of resources for finding it. Nothing was found, no evidence of any kind. Even afterward, there were more expeditions, all of those with the goal to try to showcase, hey, if we can find something that shows proof that this creature is alive. But alas, no physical evidence has been found. Amazing when you think about it, because again, today, in today's age, everyone has a phone. With a simple swipe of a phone, with regards to bringing up the camera, that's all it takes to showcase, boom, instant evidence of what someone is seeing. So amazing that to this day that there's no evidence, nothing like, let's say, the smoking gun that we need, but there was plenty of evidence, I guess, back then, which you see on these photos, but nothing today as well. So quite a coincidence, and one makes you scratch your head like why we don't have more of it today. But that's it. That's all the information associated with this cryptid of the week, this Morag, located again there in Loch Morag, Scotland. So if anyone has any more information, please post those comments below. They'd be interesting to hear. Anybody has been on a trip there to those places in Scotland trying to find Nessie maybe, or trying to find any other cryptid whatsoever, please, that'd be interesting to hear. It's probably a bucket list of sorts, but I would love to be able to try to find anything as far as, let's say, Loch Ness Monster or other cryptids outside of that location there in Scotland. But who knows, maybe it'll just be happening in the future. But if anyone has done that already, that would be really, really awesome to hear. Or if anyone knows anybody else that's done it too. So, alright everybody, thanks again as always. And again, let me know what you think with regards to these new videos that are being produced on my laptop here. So, alright everybody, take care.